Hey, beautiful people of the internet, how are you guys doing today? Hopefully great. Welcome back to some Warframe, and as promised, here is the Khora revisited budget build. Now for those who don't know what's going on, the Xoris got nerfed, and therefore I need a new build, or you guys need a build, we all need a new build. Before I continue with the video, please Spartan kick the subscribe button for more Warframe videos, and let's do this. In today's video, we are going straight into Khora's loadout because I've already gone over her abilities and the way she works in the past in the previous video. If you guys are interested in that video, I'll leave a link down to that video in the description, and I'll link it to you guys in the top right if you are interested. Now, there's nothing wrong with that build, it is perfectly fine. It hits just as hard as this one, it's just that I prefer this one, and I'll tell you guys just now. So let's begin. So starting off with the loadout, we are going to be needing the Helios Prime or the Deconstructor Prime stat stick. If you don't know what that is, I'll explain it again. Grab a normal Helios or Helios Prime, make sure you have the Deconstructor on as the weapon selected. Then click on upgrade and you'll come across these three mods. Now in order for the stat stick to work, just make sure you put on Gladiator Rush, Gladiator Might, and Gladiator Vice. That way you guys can have the complete set bonus. Now what this basically is it's another version of Blood Rush in a single loadout. So we've got two Blood Rushes in one loadout. That's the way you can think of it. So more critical chance per combo multiplier. So here's the new build that I have for Khora. It's a little bit different from the previous build. The only difference is that I'm sacrificing range for more power strength. The more power strength I have, the greater Vanari's healing is. So let's do this. Of course I didn't use any Forma because, well, you know the rules. So starting off with the aura, we have rejuvenation. What rejuvenation does, we can have constant health regeneration throughout the entire mission. Next we have power drift and auger secrets. That way we have more power strength. The more power strength we have, the greater Vanari's healing is. We have accumulating whip claw for our damage. The way that this works is simple. For every 3 enemies you hit, you'll get a 35% increase in stacking damage. Eventually, the stacking damage will be capped at 350% multiplicative damage. You can't go any higher than 350%, which is still a lot of damage. Next, we have stretch for more range. That way our number 2 and our number 4 can at least grab a few enemies that aren't too far away, which gives us decent range. We have vitality for more health. That way we don't die so easily. Fleeting expertise and streamline. That way we can use less energy and not get caught with our pants down. We have flow. That way we have a bigger energy pool. And prime continuity. That way our number 2 and our number 4 lasts relatively long. For the arcane department, we have arcane energize and arcane guardian. Guardian, that way we have more armor, and energize, that way we can replenish our energy and spam our number 1. It doesn't matter which melee weapon you guys decide to use. I like the current prime because given the current state of the game, this weapon is really powerful. So let's begin with the build. Now when you guys are modding your melee weapon, Khora's one does take into consideration the mods you guys put. Now I'm building this weapon in such a way that it benefits both the Cronen Prime specifically and Khora's whip. So here's the build. For our aura or our stance, we have Gemini Cross. For our elements, we have Vicious Frost for more cold and stage chance, Virulent Scourge for more toxin and stage chance, Weeping Wounds for more stage chance per combo multiplier, Condition Overload for more damage per stage type that affects the target, Sacrificial Steel for more critical chance, Blood Rush for even more critical chance, and finally Prime Pressure Point for more melee damage. Now if you guys want to push this weapon to its utter limit, what I suggest you guys do is add a V polarity. That way it will either reduce Prime Pressure Point or Blood Rush, and once you guys have added the V polarity, over here add Relentless Combination. What that will do is that because the Cronen Prime by default deals a ton of slash procs, what will happen is you'll easily max out your combo counter relatively quick. And remember, if your combo counter is maxed out with Khora's number 1, you'll be able to instantly orange crit or red crit and take down the steel path enemies if you guys want to push this or push Khora's number 1 to its utmost limit. Now for Vanari, there's no difference between the previous build and this build, but I'm still going to go over the mods just to help you guys even further. So we've got Sense Danger. That way my Kavat alerts me of all the nearby enemies they marked on my map. Next we have Pack Leader. Basically when I kill an enemy with my melee weapon or damage them, my Kavat aka Venari will regenerate health. Sharpened Claws, basically what happens is I'll remove Venari will then be able to completely remove any armor that an enemy has, making it much easier for me to kill. Because remember, after the armor's been removed, all that is remaining is flesh. So if it's Grenier, it's cloned flesh. Next, we have Linked Health. What happens is Venari is just going to increase health. Venari has an increased health, it's going to link to whatever Warframe I have. We have Shelter. What happens is if a teammate goes down, Venari will then create a shield for me which has 400 hit points, that way making it easier for me to revive my teammates. Animal Instinct, because it shows me where all the loot boxes are and it shows me where enemies are at all costs. Link Armor, that way Venari has even more armor. And finally, Hunter's Synergy for more critical chance. In order to make life very simple with this build, we are going to be needing the Naramon School Tree, particularly the Power Spike node. Melee combo counter now decays while out of combat by 10 every few seconds instead of depleting completely. What this means is, when we're at our maximum combo counter, aka the 12 times with 220 hits, normally you would lose that 12 times combo multiplier if you're out of combat for too long. What Power Spike does is, those 220 hits will only be depleted by 10 every few seconds, making it easier for us to keep that combo multiplier and not lose our damage. Now let me show you guys how to fully utilize this build. So if you take a closer look at the bottom right, you'll see Venari, Venari's health bar, and 3 symbols. Those 3 symbols are the 3 modes that Venari offers you. Now you guys can cycle through them. In order to do so, simply hold 3 and it will tell you exactly which mode you have currently enabled. So we have Attack, we have Protect, and we have Heal. Now in every single mission we want to use Heal, because Heal is going to just heal us. That's where the increased power strength comes into play. Next, we need to max out our combo counter. Now that our combo counter is relatively high and we can easily max out, it is time to spam our number 1, aka the accumulative Whip Claw Augment. Now remember, that gives us 365% multiplicative damage, 350% damage if we just keep spamming our whip. So let me show you how it works. Let's spawn in some enemies, rack them up with our number 2, and spam them, and there, as you guys can see, ladies and gentlemen, I am red critting. Now I'm going to show you guys how much damage this can truly deal once we've taken advantage of the augment to its full capacity. And here is the full capability of Khora when it comes to damage. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and maybe the 4th one to deal with the rest of the stranglers if they are left behind. Now remember, I'm using viral, so I'm dealing a little bit less damage because it's armor. If you guys want to deal the additional 75%, make sure to change the Corinth Prime's elemental damage from viral to corrosive. That way you deal more damage. I have this idea for a series. It's basically called Revisited. I haven't named the title of the series yet, but the idea is still in my head. But basically what I do is I go and I review or make a build, a budget build of course, or if you guys want Forma, whatever benefits you guys the most. But I go and I revisit the old forgotten melee weapons of this game, because you know, melee 3.0, and I may throw in some pistols or secondaries if you guys so want to, or make that an entirely new series. I don't know, but that's the idea that I have in my head. I'm still debating on it. I'll probably just throw in one video and see how well that does. If that video does well, I'll continue with it. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you guys for today's video. If you guys liked the video and if it's helped you, leave a like, spot and kick the subscribe button for more Warframe videos. I'ma make like a banana and split.